Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome again to the Postgraduate Enrichment Program organized by the Institute for Advanced Studies. Yeah, so if you are new here, I'm Dr. Song, the MPhil Program Coordinator at IAS and also the moderator of this session and the following session. So please stay tuned. So we will start the morning session with Dr. Cheah from the Institute of Ocean and Earth Sciences on how to write a thesis in Latex. If you have taken the research methodology courses in IAS, or if you are going to register in the coming semester, you will know him better because he is teaching R for data science. Of course, he is also proficient in other software such as the MATLAB, Julia, and also Latex, which he's going to share with us later. Dr. Cheah obtained his PhD in oceanography from the University of Tasmania, Australia in 2012, and he was offered a postdoc position in Germany before moving to Taiwan on a postdoctoral scholar award. He has won several awards for his research, not to mention numerous visiting fellowships. So now let us welcome Dr. Cheah to share his knowledge on how to write a thesis in Latex with us. Okay, so the floor is yours, Dr. Cheah.
Thank you very much for the very nice introduction. I'll just share my entire screen because I'm going to show you some of the, not just the presentation, but actually we're going to do some demonstrations of how to use Latex. Okay. Before I start, I just want to see a raise of a hand or what's going on. Seems like okay, let's stop this for a while. Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, for attending. It's nice to see so many of you. Hope everybody's staying safe. At this extra time you're having, get off the speech, and hopefully you guys are, taking this extra time to do some technical new skills, polishing your notes. I want to have a question. Anyone actually heard about Latex before? Can you just type in the chat box, or is there any? No. Yeah, okay, you've used it before, first time heard. I just want to get a rough estimate that among the audience, that how many actually heard of it or have used it before. Okay, first time, Okay, for those who already have used Latex, probably not that interesting to you because I'm going to cover most of the basic part, but as well as I'm going to show you how to put all your thesis in Latex. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do some demonstrations. And luckily, there's a rather nice online version of it. It's called Overleaf. If you have time, you can actually do a registration for an account for free. It's a website, www.overleaf.com. If you're interested in following along some of the examples, but you don't have to. You can just sit back, relax, and listen to my talk. Okay, just let's get started. Okay, for those who doesn't know what is Latex, basically, turn off my focus. Okay, it's okay. So I think some people pronounce it Latex or Latex. You might have heard of it, but the actual pronunciation by the founder or creator of it is called Latex or Latex. So it's with the K sound ending, not like so to distinguish between the rubber latex material. So developed by Leslie Lamport in the 80s, and as a more user-friendly version. It's built on. It's not built on. It's actually sort of a big macros packages on top of the text, the TEX typesetting system developed by Donald Cruz. This is the engine of the Latex. So it's imagine your tag is your car in a manual gear. So Latex gives you a auto gear, so you don't really need to figure with the gear things. You just drive it. Makes your user experience much easier. Mostly restricted to scientific community, especially like academics, for writing articles and reports. Of course, thesis is also the main part of postgraduate. More than 1 million users that I can check. So I think it's probably more, but whether it's on and off user based on macro packages. So as mentioned, it's a bit different from your experience with Word or other open office rich text format documentation. So it's more like a programming. If you use R, you use Python, you're probably aware that you need to include calling some packages that actually have a certain functionality. So it's similar nature in how Latex behave or how Latex operates. Okay, so the document structure is there's 2 parts. So there's a preamble. I'm going to explain that in detail. And that's the body and we call it content. So preamble is where you do the formatting, and after that, the body is where you put in your text, your main text, your introductions, okay, and so on. Right. Just as most of you used Word before, so I think it's good to have a side-by-side comparison. So you have a Word experience, most of you. So it's good to know what's that differences between these 2 main software. Okay. So you have the left panel, that's the Latex, and then the right is Microsoft Word. Okay, Latex, first of all, which I want to bring in because it's basically free. You don't really need to pay a single cent. Not only free, it's actually open source, so you can actually use somebody's source code. You can modify it and build your own packages according to your needs. So you can customize it compared to Word. I check it's like maybe 600 ringgit for a license. Of course, if you're a university, you usually purchase a campus-wide license, so you can download it for free. But if after you graduated, your company doesn't have it. If you need to use it, you probably have to pay for it. But it also is a repository, so it's closed. You don't really know what's happening. You can't see the source code. You can't modify it. They don't allow you to do it. So that you have to rely on Microsoft for the upcoming version. If you want a certain additional functionality, you can't do it yourself. You have to rely on Word to do it for you, or you have to wait for the new update. Okay. So the second one is plain text and rich text format. So I'm not sure actually if you are aware of what is plain text and what is rich text format. Plain text is there's no additional formatting. There's no special text. It's really just it's like writing your email. These are all plain text. Compared to Word, it's rich text format. So formatted text that it's predefined. There's also actually a layer of some sort of formatting already. So you don't really have full control of certain things. So sometimes you drag figures into your Word document. Sometimes you feel it's stubborn. It doesn't really place according to where you want it to be. So that's because it's already pre-formatted. Okay, but for Latex, it's plain text. So you have the full control. You can really say where you want it, so how you want it to be, what's the size. You customize it yourself, which makes it extremely stable. Okay, I'm going to show you my code and my thesis that I wrote in the Latex more than I started in 2008 or 9, so it's more than 10 years ago, and it still works. I still couple of days ago. I just try to produce it again. Yeah, the output is the same. It doesn't really change because it's plain text. So you don't have the issue like words. If you try to use maybe 5 years ago or slightly older versions of Word, that might actually work properly with your current versions that you have. Not to mention that now it has like .dos, .doc, and .docx, which is the newer version. I think now they've already solved most of the problem, but I remember when they released the .docx, it actually created a lot of problems. I mean, the document doesn't show properly. So with LaTeX, you don't really have that problem. And another good thing about plain text is high consistency across the operating system. So if I wrote something I'm using a Mac OS computer. So if I wrote in Mac, I send it to you, you're using Windows or you're using Linux, or you can read it, no problem. You can produce the same result. So for Microsoft Word, I think they solved the issue with Mac OS, because I remember back in my PhD time, I actually had my first document in Word, my first paper, but at the time when I was sending to my co-author who were using Windows, some things that it doesn't appear properly. So not to say now it's still not available on Linux, because of course Linux doesn't want paid software. They want open source. So Linux they have OpenOffice or LibreOffice. For those who are using Linux, you're probably aware of that. And that's come to the main sort of backbone of LaTeX, which is what you see is what you mean. What it actually means is what you actually command that you wrote or text that you wrote, is actually what you mean. And LaTeX will do the typesetting and print it out according to what you mean. So for comparison, Word is what you see is what you get. So you type in everything there, you see, and that's it. Other than that, you don't really have much option or control over that. You type in and that's it. So that's come to the compartment of LaTeX, which has you have an editor where you put in all your commands in plain text, and then LaTeX will take care of the formatting for you and then generate a PDF at the end. Okay, for Word is you do the formatting yourself on the Word document itself. So you actually have to do if you want margins, everything. You need to just do a clicking or something like that. So it's ideal for long and complicated documents for LaTeX. So such as Thesis for me is one of the most one of the most complicated documents you're going to have in your life, especially for those either you're doing a master or PhD. Even so, if you're doing a PhD, because you probably have like a few hundred pages of a document that you want to compile it all together, you want to write. So you have like 5 or 6 or even 7 chapters. So these are all big parts of a document. So if you use a Word, I think of course many people actually publish submit their thesis in Word or producing their thesis in Word, but some might have struggling with you have to keep such a long document. I know people also split it, and then after that you have to try to combine everything and print it out. So, but that's very tedious. In LaTeX, you can LaTeX will do that for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm going to show you later on. So, okay, let's start with some nice thing about LaTeX. After the introduction, so I have more than 4,000 packages or macros. So, which means it gives you a huge functionality. So anything that you can think of, actually, you can be done in LaTeX. Okay, I won't say everything, but the things that I've so far, I don't come across anything that is cannot be done. Okay, for my own requirements. I'm not sure about your background or your discipline, so you may have different requirements. Okay, so another nice thing is actually there's a lot of templates, not just the packages, the templates. So I'm going to show you some of the templates. What means template is, now Word also coming up with a template like Thesis template. If you're submitting articles for certain journals, they also offer a template in Word. But basically, it's just a simple where you have your author, title. But for LaTeX, it's actually a real formatting for you. You can use the template if you like. Let's say you're using a template for a thesis, for a master. After that, you move to another university. You can use that university's template if they have a LaTeX template. And for scientific articles, and many publishers actually or journals actually have the template. So let's say you're submitting a journal, got rejected, then you want to move to another journal, but the formatting is different, especially like the referencing citation is very different. It's very tedious to do it in Word because let's say you convert the Harvard style into a numbering. Especially numbering, because numbering like nature, science, they follow by the sequence of the citation. So which means it doesn't follow the sequence of alphabetical sequence of the author's name or the first name of the author, surname of the author. So that is, you need to really count by one if you're using Word. So with LaTeX, it will take care of it for you. And large collection. Okay, so not just scientific articles, but books, his report, poster, presentation. If I want to, I can actually prepare a PDF, a presentation style PDF in LaTeX if I want. And even screenplay. Imagine that those who use in Hollywood, you can use LaTex to do that for you. You can have a nice. I'm not sure you have to read a screenplay, like the amount of actresses, and they have their lines. Okay, for templates, Overleaf have a rather good, surprisingly good compilation of the template. You can have a look if you're interested. And then, okay, another really powerful feature of LaTeX is the characters or letters of many languages that you can imagine, and math symbols. So you can actually produce this in LaTeX itself, with the command without actually copy paste some figures or images that you produce somewhere else, cut and paste. This is actually, you can do it with the command. So as this one. And these are the examples of some of the more unusual symbol, I would say, because I actually never use it. But it's interesting to know that there's a lot of thousands of them, because LaTeX using UTF-8 Unicode. If you're, for those who are doing language, you're probably aware that basically incorporating most of the symbols and characters that we currently have in the world. You can type that Arabic, Jawi, even somebody produced a Jawi version, of course Greek letter, the common Chinese, Japanese, there's many. And it's very easy to generate tables of content, list of figures and tables. I remember when I started writing my thesis in Word back in 2007 or 8, then that's Word already has a function of creating a table of content based on the heading, which is similar theory for LaTeX as well. But I find it's for figures and table, Word doesn't really did so well. I'm not sure about now, because maybe it's better for those who have used it. Maybe you can share your experience later on. And very efficient hyperlinks. So I will show you what I mean for that, because if you read articles that actually have a reference, and then you can actually click on the reference, and then you will lead you to the actual reference section at the end of the papers, so that you can do it with your thesis. Flexible citations, reference functions. Okay, I'll show you later on. And you can add notes by comment out the text. this is very, very good for note keeping and putting down your ideas in the same document. So like Word, whatever you type, because it's what you get. So you will see it there. So if let's say you wrote an introduction, you get some paraphrase from some articles, but after that you're not using it anymore. But you are not sure. Maybe you're going to use it again in the future. So you can comment it out in Latex, but you can't do it in Word because that people can see. So if you want to submit the thesis, people can see. So you have to delete all. What I used to do is I save it in another Word document. I call it notes. But then eventually you have too many notes and everything is getting very messy. And another thing is command line based. This can be a disadvantage as well. I'm going to explain later. So that you have figures stored in a separate folder. So you don't have to put everything in the same folder. Imagine you have all those, maybe a lot of figures, images in your thesis. Let's say you have 100. Your folder is going to be very messy. It's going to be hard to keep track of what's what. So, but this one you can separate it. Then Latex can trace it. You just have to tell where it is. Then you will find it according to your instructions. Another thing is also suggestions. So yeah, it doesn't exist in Word, but of course this is very handy because there are so many commands that you need to memorize. I'm going to show you later. And tab completion, that you can actually tap and then it will complete it for you. Okay. So before I start with the disadvantage, I want to share with you my, okay. Can anyone see my thesis? Am I sharing the, oh, okay. So I maybe have to share the whole, if I share entire screen, it's going to be messy. Let's try. Okay. Can you see what I'm sharing now? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see your thesis.
Okay, you can see my thesis.
Yes, I can.
Not right. Okay, good. Okay, this is what I actually submitted. This is the final version that I actually submitted for my PhD in 2012. Okay, so I actually don't have to drag this logo into here. You know, I don't have to set, okay, space by, and then space my name. This is all done in the editor of Latex. Okay, I'm going to show you later on. Okay, what I just showed just now, what I mentioned just now. Okay, you have this. Okay, about the. Okay, this is the table of content, which automatically generated by Latex. I just put some command, and then Latex will pick it up for me. Okay, so like, and then this is what I call the hyperlink. So let's say this is table content. We've got table content here, introduction. This is the list of tables. So if I click it, you will go to my list of tables. Okay, this is hyperlink. Okay, you will probably see if you read some ebooks, you read some journal article that have the hyperlink features in that hyperref, then you will know. Okay, because if I click, it's there. And then we go to this citation or reference. So I have this Coburn-Skowski 1993. If I click that, it will actually go to my bibliography section. Okay, this is very useful because you want to know sometimes whether the output of your bibliography section is correct. So this will actually help. You know, you don't have to keep scrolling down, or somebody has a separate section in Word, a separate chapter. Then you have to compare two chapters, or two different documents side by side, and then you're going to go crazy if, let's say, you have like how many bibliography you're going to have in your thesis. Imagine that. Okay, just go back to the list of figures, and after that is not just the citations or reference the bibliography. I can actually even, because of the, you see the list of figures, list of tables, so which meaning that my figures also have a hyperlink or hyperlink feature in it. Okay, let's go to one of the figures. Okay, this is my figure 1.1. Okay, this one I assign a blue color for my references and then a red color for my figures or table. So if I go click here, then it will jump to the figures. So I know, okay, this is correct figures that I wanted to show. Okay, this is make it really life much easier. So I can quickly cross check. Okay, I have other figures, figure 2, this I have figure 1.3, and these are the hyperlink that actually connect everything, and not only connect, it's actually compile it and then put as the list of figures that I show you just now. Okay, these are all the figures are the one that actually have hyperlink in it. Okay, even that you can just click on the list of figures, individual tables. Okay, these are all, they have all the link feature there. Okay, I can see this is my list of tables, so I just let's say this one. Okay, it will go straight to where the tables is located, and this is the things that it actually makes your what you call cross-checking, makes the consistency in your thesis much easier, because you don't want to have this as a reviewer or examiner, we call this as a trivial mistake, something that you shouldn't, because sometimes it affects. If let's say examiners not in a good mood, then you see why you can't even put a proper sequence of your table, or supposed to be 4.1, you say 5.1. It's your PhD, you're going to get a doctorate degree. It's something that is not supposed to happen. But of course, if you write so many times, you have to look at your own Word document so many times over and over, you lost it sometimes. That's why sometimes you need a proofreading from your colleagues or your friends or your supervisor. But of course, yeah, sometimes it's mistakes like this can be easily missed. So Latex will take care of this for you, so you don't have to worry about that. As long as you, of course, there's always a catch. You need to properly put a label so that Latex will know this is what you mean, because you get what you mean. You mean it, Latex do it. It's like a robot. It doesn't try to do things out of what you want. Words might have some brain in it, or it might have some AI. So that's something that we don't want. Okay. What else for my? Okay, I think that's all. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint? Is everything okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, okay, we are showing the good part. What about the ugly side of Latex? Okay, these were the figures. On the left is somebody actually do sort of a scientific experiment on effort and time consumptions. I think that's a typo there. Consumption, and the complexities of the document inside. So if, let's see, effort and time for Word, this is the dash line for Word. It's easy. You can just, even now, kindergartens, you ask them to use Word, they can just type anything. Everybody can use it. So it's the effort time is very low, starting point. But when it comes to a point when the documents getting more and more sophisticated, such as a thesis, that you have a lot of chapters, a lot of references, a lot of figures, a lot of tables. Then that's to a point that, of course, thesis is still manageable. Actually, like for those who are doing books or some technical reports that have a specialized format, yeah, most of them actually use latex in that case. And for latex, okay, it's slightly higher threshold for you to come in, and then after that, the payout will give you a good payout afterwards. So once you know, the more complex the document are, then you don't feel that stress. That's what I've experienced during my PhD. This is how I switch. I started my first papers in Word, then yeah, it was getting more and more messy. Then a friend of me told me about latex. Luckily, there's other PhD candidate using that, so I just bite the bullets and switch. Okay, I mentioned just now advantage of command line, but it's also an disadvantage especially for those who have no experience in programming. If you haven't used a command line before, that could be a discouragement. If you're only used to a GUI, or we call it graphic user interface, then clicking the mouse, then you will be a bit annoyed as to begin with. Okay, but you can do some clicking as well, but that's not. It won't serve the purpose of picking up latex. Okay, so that brings it to a quite steep learning curve compared to Word. And it will definitely eat up a lot of your memory cells because you need to memorize a lot of commands for functions, for symbols, for packages. I'm going to show you that. So just going to give you some caveat before that. You can create a large table. It's a nightmare. But I'll show you the options, so you don't have to do. Actually, you have a long table. That I have tried that before I discovered the other options. That it's not fun. Create a large table in LaTeX. There's no track changes except for certain software, which like Overleaf, they have actually track changes if you go for the paid version. I don't do it for paid. I still try to go for the free one. And when I started to have using LaTeX, so it produced PDF, so I sent it to my supervisor back then. I just sort of say, sorry, I don't have Word anymore. Can you comment on the PDF? And eventually he agreed. Well, as the professor or your supervisor, they review papers, and most of the papers submitted as PDF, so they actually get used. Of course, track changes in Word is much easier, but I'm going to show there's some options you can do it. One of the way I do it is I convert into rich text format, which can be read in Word. Then I also send them the PDF as the final version, so they can view it and then comment it on the rich text version. The output is mostly in PDF. That's what I was explaining just now. So there's software now that actually can convert, and Overleaf actually has that version. So let's say if your supervisor still insists on having this, then you can use that. But not everything is actually going to be correctly interpreted or reflected by Word. So that's this is why I list it as a disadvantage in here. Okay. For those who haven't have LaTeX in their computer, you can do it. Go to this website. This is the homepage for the LaTeX project. So everything is free there. So you can download it on PC. For Windows, most of people recommend big text, but I never use this, so I don't know. There's other version. There's other version for Windows. For Mac, it's only one. Basically, it's called Mac Text. But within that, there's actually a couple of versions. There's a light version, there's a full version, but it's all free, so don't have to worry. I wouldn't encourage you to download it now. You can see what I will show you later on Overleaf, which you can use it online. And because these are big, I think Mac Text is about 7 or 8 gigabytes. So yeah, don't go and straight away download it. Go give it a try first if you haven't. Then you will decide later whether you want to. to write your thesis in Latex. Okay, Linux, I think it's pre-installed, but if you want, you can have other version. You have to just download it separately. For online one, Overleaf, I discovered, I think, back in 2013 when they first started. And there's other company, but now they merged with Cheah Latex, which I think was better before. But Overleaf, I tried. It's really, really nice. I recently tried again, and I can actually, if I go back in time, I probably write my thesis in Overleaf. But that's the downside. That not the downside. If they actually provide extra functions, but you have to pay for that, the premium services. They also have others online versions called Papiria. I have never used it, so you can give it a try. Okay, so when I said preamble, just now that Latex is, has two sections. One is preamble. This is where you put in your formatting to tell Latex what you need or what you want. Okay, so the blue color. Okay, let's start with this. So for any document that you want to create with Latex, you need this document class. So this will tell Latex that what type of document you want. Okay, so that's okay. There's a few we need to cover. Few basic rules of Latex. You have a backslash. So I put it here as well. It's a command. So when you have backslash in Latex, Latex will translate it as a command. So you know, okay, you're putting a command and what sort of function that you want, what sort of command that you need. So here is document class. So this is the function. And if you see a square bracket, this is optional of packages. So with a curly bracket, document type. So these are the name, usually the name of the packages or the name of the template, or they call it style file or class file. Okay, so let's say, okay, let's say you have, okay, these are the real commands. So that's document class. Okay, I have, first of all, I want to call the package or type class article. So this is article. And then I say, want to tell it A4 paper, this is the size, and then 12 points. So this is the font size. And then after that, you include the packages. So with this command, use package. So backslash, use package and options and name of the package. Okay. So then, okay, example, this is the input encoding packages that you tell Latex you want to use UTF-8. You can also use ASCII, but ASCII is more limited for those. This will actually encode most of the symbols and characters that I mentioned just now. And then you have this, you want to include the titles, you just put /title, how to write thesis in Latex. /author, you just go command and put your name, and you put the date. And this is how you take care of the preamble, which is you lay out the foundation of your format. Okay? Okay. What about if you want to type? Actually, you want to type out this backslash symbol, then in Latex you have to actually do this. This is a bit annoying, but this is how it is. So you need to tell that it's text backslash. Then you will type out this. Okay, then come to the main body. So after that, you lay out your foundation for your formatting. Then you tell Latex. So it always has an environment. So let's say your document, you always have to tell Latex you're opening up an environment for document. So it started with backslash begin document. Then if you have a title page, then you need this to make title. These are also another function, another command. And then you started with your sections, introduction, and put in your text here, some intelligent text. If you have a subsection, then you do subsection intro. You can put, of course, the name of your subsection within the introduction. and then subsections. And Latex will do that for you. If your introduction is chapter 1, then you have 1.1, 1.1.1. This one, the itemized, this Latex will do the calculation for you and then put that the numbering of the sequence of the headings accordingly, okay, based on what you tell it to do. And then you end it. You always have to end. If you have a begin, remember to end your documents or any environment. I'll show you, including figures, including tables, you need to end it here. So anything before is a preamble. Okay, before the document is a preamble, which means you set up the formatting, and then after that, you do the environment by calling this begin function, followed by the curly bracket. And then when you finish like that. Okay, just a quick go through this. I want to show you the table first because I mentioned this nightmare. So imagine you have a table like that. You want to produce a table like this. This is a simple thing. But in LaTeX, you have to actually type this. And it's where you tell LaTeX that this is a separate column. You have and symbol. And you have the begin table. This is a function for table. And then this CCC meaning 3 columns. Okay, that's yeah. Okay, I think we don't really have a lot of time, so I'm going to quickly. So for more complex table like this one, yeah, this is the one that you need. Okay, but don't worry, I'm going to show you that this you can actually convert it online. Okay, this online converter or generator for LaTeX. So if you type in it can generate for you. So you just have to copy this and put it back into your LaTeX document. So you don't really need to memorize or count everything. This makes life easier. Okay. Okay. There's another one. It's called Excel. Oh, okay. For this one, it's actually okay. This one is you create a table in Excel, but after that, you just drop that here, and then it will create it for you. This is very nice. I like it because it's easier for me to create a table in Excel. Then after that, I just copy here and then put it back into my LaTeX editor. Okay. Okay. After that, oh, what's happening? Yeah, sorry about that. Let's go back to figures. Figures much simpler. You have the begin, put the figures here, include the graphics, so the functions, then the name of the figure, and then it will create table contents, list of figure tables. These 3 functions that you need, then you'll create for you. Okay, that's the position. I'm going to skip that. Okay, symbols. Yeah, I'm going to share this PDF so you can have a look. But don't worry about the symbol because there's actually, somebody created this very nice. If you don't know what symbol, you don't know where to find it, you just can draw it here. And this online, we're going to show you, okay, this is probably this package or this package. You just copy it, put it into your editor, then you solve your symbol issue because there's like I don't know how many thousands of symbols in LaTeX you can use. For bibliography management, it's based on big text. I'm going to show you how it's going to be done for the commonly used package. So you need the package. So I think people mostly use the big LaTeX anyway now. Then you can have it with or without reference manager. Okay, to cite reference, this is how you cite it. And you have to tell LaTeX what style you want. So this is the UNSRT, so you put it here. And if you have a reference database, this is always end with the .bit file, then you put it here. The name without the .bit, so just the name of the reference. Okay, database. Okay, now let's go to how many minutes I have. Oh, not much. Okay, if there's a case, I'm going to go straight to your Okay, actually, somebody actually prepared a template for UN, thesis template. So her name is Lim Lian Zi. So you can, I think she's community expert for overleaf. So this is overleaf. After you register your account, you can create a project. You can just let me go back. You can create new project, blank project, or just go for the thesis. Okay, there are many theses, but you don't have to worry. Just do a quick find, search, simulator. Then you click that. You will go to this template. Then you just click the template. You can just go straight away, open as template. If you already have an account, Latex will open it just like that, like just now. Okay, so these are the thesis template. And then, okay, now it's doing compilations. Okay, then you see, okay, these are the output of PDF. So you see, these are the output. It's really easy if somebody has a template for you. Okay, so I told you just now, before document, these are all the preambles. Okay, what I mean when you can comment it, so you see this followed by a percentage sign. These are the comments. Let's say I can say, okay, so this she put thesis.text. I can say that create. This is the preamble section. Okay, so Latex won't print it out because Latex knows it's a command. It's not a function. It's not a command. So okay, so these are packages that she put it in. You can include any packages you want. So I told you that's the auto suggestion. So these are the auto suggestion. So if you want, let's say, MS math, for those who using math symbols. So these are the Mathematical Society created this. So that's it. So you have auto suggestion and tab completion for you. So you don't have to worry that you forgot. You just have to memorize certain, you still need to memorize certain things. And okay, you can add any one of it. This is free. You can use it. So you can change it already according to, so you can start straight away. Okay, author. I just change it. So now it's doing the compiling. Okay. Right. Now it's mine. You see, okay, now, okay, it's not ITS anymore. It's rather IAS. Okay, let's also do this. Okay. Voila. Really, it's really easy. Okay, what about your title? So this is the title. How to write thesis in. Okay, of course you can do this, but Latex, of course, they are doing Latex. They have this. So this is just a sort of symbol for Latex. If you type that. If you don't, then it will just give you like that. Just, okay, so this is just a picture. No big deal here. So this is what I meant, plain text. You see, you don't have a lot of fancy stuff here. No, and then these are the rich text. Overleaf has this. So after this one can be read by word, but you see there's things that is not necessarily needed here. Okay, but of course this is a preamble. There's no, let's say if you go for one of the chapter introductions. So these are the introductions. This is where you have, okay, calling the chapter, introductions, sections, then, okay, intro or intro. Okay, these are the first sections. Okay, something, okay. That's a good thing about overleaf. It will give you an error if you, okay, what did I, let's go back. sorry, because the problem is you can't compile here because this is a chapter. Everything you have to go back to here. So you have to change everything here. Sorry about that. Intro of intro. After you finish, you save it, go back to your, this is where you have the preamble. Then you do it the compiling here. Because it's a big document, so it will take some time. So now, so this one has all chapters on it. So you just have to modify according to your requirement. And just now you see I have chapter 1, where's my that chapter introduction? Yeah, so not introduction, right? Where's the introduction? Yeah, introduction. So I just changed that. Okay. Of course, this is where is the command for table of contents, list of figures, you put it here, then it will do picking up for you the sequence, so it will arrange accordingly, like I show you in my thesis. So this is all taken care by Latex, and this is the input command for how to use. So she has a chapter on how to use, so you can change it to your first chapter, and intro chapter, and other. You can include like input accordingly, name of your chapter. Then you create that chapter there. Okay. Just now I say that it's better to, this one is really, she doesn't have a lot of figures here, but it's better to actually create, let's say, folders called figures. Okay. Then you put that in there. Okay. So let me show you. She has one of the intro chapter. Green. Okay, you put green here. Okay, green is gone. Now it's in figures. So when you type green, you will actually tell it's here. See, this is the path that Latex or this overlay know where is your. Because I don't do it here, I go back to here. Okay, then you do the compiling again. Okay, done. Same thing. So it's really straightforward. So there's many examples on overlays. You can actually give it a try yourself. I just want to go to this typography management. Okay, so this is how. Okay, don't just make it bigger. So this is what I meant just now. So you have, let's say you have this sentences or paragraph, then you have your, this is the key or site key of your citation. So then you just tell what sort of, so this is a numbering. So it will give you the number of the citation. So it's very organized as long as you follow the rules. Okay, I don't have much time now, so I just want to share the tips based on my experience. So it's good to organize your files based on category. Example, put chapters in a single folder and images in another folder. Assign your main text to do the formatting and then calling the chapters. Label your figures. This is very important. If you have a lot of figures, not by the sequence. Don't do figure 1.1 because after that you might change according to your chapters, according to your paragraph, but then you will confuse yourself. So put a name for figure, let's say, because Latex will do the formatting for you, the sequence numbering for you. So don't worry about that. So because you tell them where to find figures, that's enough. So, okay, so reference measure. Okay, I used that before. Now I also have another one. I also tried Zotero. These are free. It's quite okay. So you can export it. So for those who never heard of the reference manager, so it's like EndNote, but this is our free version. This is mine in BibTeX. So I can just quickly go for export, export the file. Then I will show you the file. Okay, this is actually my thesis. It's a bit scary, but don't worry too much about that. Okay. Okay, these are the sort of bibliographies that I get from journals, Google Scholar. You know, if you go for journals, sorry about that. Maybe I don't have time for that. Okay, I'll just stop here if anyone has a question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Cheah. I think there are still a lot we need to learn. Yeah,
it's hard to cover latex in 1 hour.
I think you have given a very good introduction and overview about latex, and I think they can go and explore this software with all the website that you have shared. I think it is okay to have your slide later, right?
I'll send you my slide. You can distribute to the students later.
Yeah, thank you so much. Probably we just Dr. Cheah can answer 2 quick questions here. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. Took so much time.
No worry. Yeah, so
any urgent questions?
Yeah. Okay, so there is 1 question here. So the student asked whether I can use a latex simultaneously with Word, or I have to use only one in the same OS.
Okay, if you already have Word, give it a try with latex first, and then see how it goes. Because don't give up your Word first, because you might have, if you have never experienced with latex, I'm sure you're going to have some issue with it, because it's quite a complicated, as I mentioned, it's quite a steep learning curve. Then once you get comfortable with latex, you can get the output that as you want, then you can switch it to. Of course, keep in mind that your supervisor who are not familiar or doesn't like to review your thesis in PDF, you still need your Word. But my advice is you can, export it as a rich text, and then you can do some tidy up in Word, then send it. But send the PDF, the final version. Just tell the supervisor, okay, this is the final version. Ignore those, a bit weird symbols or weird encoding that doesn't work properly. So focus on the PDF, and then you comment on the Word using the track changes. Then you do the corrections afterwards.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Cheah. Another question by Shafika. So she's asking whether we can use Mendeley add-in with latex.
Yeah, I think for overlays, they have Mendeley and Zotero. These are the 2 that they supported. But if you use any others downloaded version, free latex, you can use any kind of managers, reference managers, as you like. You can even use EndNote if EndNote has. I think EndNote has a function that actually converts your EndNote reference into bib. Because I started with EndNote using Word, but it gave me so much headache. It doesn't really, the formatting of the journals doesn't work according to what I want, so I just gave up. But that's back more than 10 years ago. Now maybe EndNote works better. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheah, for your time. And also,
I think that's a question from the chat box.
Is it?
Yes, you can convert latex to not to Word but to rich text format, RTS. So the overleaf, if you have an editor, there's actually, it's called rich text. You can actually do that. But there's others, other software that can allow you to convert your text into Word. I will put that in the slide, the link. You can then, I'll send to Dr. Song, then you can give it a try.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Cheah. I think the participants or the students need time to digest it. So if you don't mind, can I share your email address to the participants so that if they have any questions, they can just email